For more now on what to expect from this year's two sessions, I'm joined by Einar Tangen. He's a senior fellow at the Taihe Institute and founder of the Asia Narratives Substack publication. Great to have you on the show tonight, Einar. Now, meetings will officially get underway soon. So for our international audience, just tell us what will happen over this next week.
Well, there will be a work report which has been approved by the executive, and they'll go through all the issues that are things. This is basically a report card. I mean, you don't really get this in many other places. What they do is they said, we're going to do something last year, and then they check back this year, and they go through it. Have they accomplished it? Now, remember, the CPPCC, the consultative group, is really about checking things. They do a tremendous amount of work going around and making sure that everything that they were supposed to do is actually done, investigating, and then they make suggestions. You heard a few of them earlier on, and that's what's going to happen. Then we go into the NPC. This is the lawmaking body, and what they are going to do is review and suggest any kind of small changes to the national report, and that will also involve checking exactly what the government has achieved over not just this year, but as it approaches the 15th year plan, what's new for the next 5 years.
Now, 2025 marks the final year of China's 14th five-year plan, as you suggest. Now, it wants to make a critical moment for policymakers to assess progress on key economic and industrial goals. Is that the kind of thing you expect to hear from Li Cheng's speech on Wednesday?
Yeah, it's going to cover a lot of areas. There's, concerns about consumption, how things will work, but there's newfound confidence. Things like DeepSeek have really kind of changed people's ideas. Even the movie, blockbuster movie that played out and broke box office records here in China, has given people a sense that yes, China is a rock of stability in a world which is otherwise very, very uncertain, especially given what's happening in the U.S. So you have foreign policy concerns. You have how the government plans to work with private industry to get the economy moving more quickly and independently. Remember, China's policy is about trying to develop their domestic markets so they're not dependent on the international markets. And this was over the last 5 years in reaction to what happened with Donald Trump and all the tariffs the first time around. And I guess we're in for another round.
Yeah, I mean, there are challenges, though, aren't there? Some of the hurdles include inflation, real estate industry, the jobs market. What are some of the issues that will take centre stage during this government meeting, do you think?
Well, it'll all key off this report. This is the 2025, this is the year, they had a 2025 plan. They're going to go down what they wanted to achieve and what they didn't achieve. And there are issues about, energy consumption. They're not exactly where they wanted to be. There are all social services, births and deaths, and aging, I should say. These are all issues, but, it's holistic. It's not just political and economic. There are also social issues in there. And, especially concerns about where China is in the world, given the uncertainty that's being created almost on a daily basis in Washington. So expect it to be very methodical. Don't look for the kind of drama that you saw in the White House between Zelensky and Trump. This is going to be rather boring, but you know what? It produces a lot of results. Obviously, real estate industry is one of the issues that's going to be there, as well as government debt, how to handle this type of thing.
What about the economic outlook for 2025? What will be some of the bright spots to look out for, do you think?
Well, the continued technological innovation has been the hallmark of the last couple of years. And new energy vehicles, advances in solar and wind, moving the economy away towards a more green economy. Remember, peak carbon emissions is supposed to happen before 2030. And there's going to be this transition. Okay, what did we do in terms of the 2025 goals? What needs to be done more, and then what is happening in 2030. Remember, by then, Xi Jinping has said he wanted to double the economy. He wants to have a moderately prosperous, well-off society. And, you know, these are goals where China wants to be more independent. They can no longer rely on the U.S. as it sees China as something that it needs to contain. So there are lots of strong headwinds, but there's, I would say, a lot of optimism, especially going into this year.